Imagine waking up one morning to discover your entire bank account frozen. No money for food, no access to rent, nothing. And when you call for help, the very people who caused the mistake laugh, talk down to you, and even hint that you don't belong, just because of your last name. That happened to me. And let's just say, this bank had no idea who they were messing with. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or treated unfairly by someone who thought they held all the power, smash that like button and subscribe, because today's story is about how I turned the tables on an entire bank and got the sweetest revenge you could ever imagine. I'll be honest, I should have known better. Instead of sticking with a big reliable bank, I decided to trust this tiny little local credit union. It felt homely, personal, like they'd care more about me as a customer. That was my mistake. It all started when my debit card randomly stopped working at an ATM. Annoying, sure, but not a big deal, right? I went inside the branch, and one of the clerks gave me this special code. She said, "Don't worry, just use this. It'll pull the money directly from your account." Apparently, this was a feature they offered. Nothing special. At that point, I thought, okay, small hiccup. They're helping me out. No harm done. Oh, how wrong I was. A few days later, I went to buy groceries, and my card declined. Confused, I logged into my account. Balance, 0. Not because I spent it, because the bank froze everything. I called customer support, heart pounding. Rent was due in less than 2 weeks. I had bills. I had commitments. And yet, my money was locked up because of what they called an accounting discrepancy. Basically, their system glitched. It wasn't me. I hadn't overdrafted. I hadn't broken a single rule. Still, they flagged my account for review. 1 week went by. Then 2. Then 3. My funds remained frozen. I was living off scraps, borrowing from friends, feeling humiliated. And every time I called, the employees treated me like garbage. Well, sir, maybe you should have thought twice before trying to bypass the system. You people always think the rules don't apply to you. I could hear it in their voices. That little venom when they said, "You people." My last name isn't exactly local. It has a foreign ring to it, and I couldn't shake the feeling that they were holding that against me. I can't explain how powerless I felt. Have you ever been punished for something that wasn't your fault? Have you ever been made to feel like an outsider? Like your voice doesn't matter? Nights became restless. My chest tightened every time I checked my balance, hoping maybe the block was gone. But nope, same frozen screen, same helpless reality. I vented to my family back home during one of those late night calls. My voice cracked with anger and exhaustion. And that's when my younger cousin, this mischievous little genius, said something that flipped the script. Why don't you fight them where it hurts? Their reputation. At first I laughed it off. What am I gonna do? Stand outside with a sign. But then he introduced me to something different. My cousin told me about this bizarre online service based overseas. For just a few rubles, a fraction of a cent, you could have people post whatever you wanted on social media. Think of it like a crowd army of voices, each one leaving complaints, bad reviews, angry comments. At first, I thought it sounded sketchy, but the more I stewed in my frustration, the more it clicked. I wasn't just fighting for my money anymore. I was fighting for respect. So I signed up. I spent $3, just 3, and with a few AI prompts, suddenly, dozens, then hundreds of customers began flooding the credit unions. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Complaints everywhere. Accusations of bad service, corruption, racism, hidden fees. And here's the kicker. The site even let me choose the type of profiles posting. American looking, local sounding, exactly the kind of customers this credit union wanted to impress. By the time I checked their Facebook again that afternoon, the posts were coming in faster than I could refresh. It was beautiful chaos. That very same day, yes, the same day, I got a call. Not from some snarky clerk, not from the useless call center, but from the manager himself. His voice, nervous, shaky. "Sir, we've reviewed your case. We understand the frustration you've experienced, and we're prepared to resolve this immediately." Immediately, he went on. "Even if you'd prefer not to keep your account with us, we're ready to transfer your full balance, plus a $50 compensation to any other bank you choose." Just like that, 1 month of begging, pleading, and humiliation. And now, within hours of their social media drowning in complaints, suddenly, they could fix everything. I almost laughed on the call. I almost wanted to say, "Oh, now I matter, now that people are watching." But instead, I played it cool. I told him I'd be transferring my money out immediately, and that I'd never trust their institution again. The funniest part? I couldn't exactly call off the social media flood. Those posts, they just kept coming, dozens, then hundreds more, piling up long after I had my money back. Their online reputation, torched. Their customer trust, shaken. And me, I walked away with every penny of my balance, plus a little bonus, and a story I'll never forget. Justice didn't come from lawyers. It didn't come from regulators. It came from me, from refusing to stay silent, from reminding them that power goes both ways. They underestimated me. They thought I was powerless. But for the best $3 I've ever spent, I reminded them exactly why you never mess with people's livelihoods. Slow down narration, savor the emotional punch. When the bank manager's voice cracked on that call, I knew I had won. All those sleepless nights, all that anger, suddenly it wasn't in vain. They wanted to brush me aside. They wanted to treat me like I didn't matter. But in the end, I had the last laugh. You know, revenge doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes, it's as quiet as a manager sweating on the phone, realizing his entire institution could crumble because they pushed the wrong person too far. Justice isn't always loud, but it is always sweet. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, have you ever had to take revenge on a company or a boss who mistreated you? I'd love to hear your stories. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more tales of karma, justice, and revenge served ice cold.